And this thing does this every time. And we still can't figure out why it does it. We have no idea why it does this. But you guys can go along for the ride with us. I'm not sure what happens with it.
Oh, and that's Thomasina.
Hi. I am not sure what happens with it, but that is for some reason what happens on Restream. I'm actually, you know what? Restream's gonna be real mad at me, but I was talking to a guy who came in for AI
Yeah.
on last week. You were at the class.
Yeah.
And he gave me a lot of different platforms. And I think we're gonna try a new platform. I didn't do it this time because I need to set it up and everything.
Right.
But I think we're going to try a different platform. I'm sorry, Restream, but every single time we go in here, you guys keep flipping our screen.
We
And
get
it's,
started and it goes this way.
yeah,
It goes
and
this
we
way.
haven't leveled. So I
Yeah.
think I'm going to try a different platform. Not that that has anything to do with real estate, but it kind of does because once I try out the new platform, I'll let you guys know so that you can use it for your podcast when you're out there doing your real estate advertising and doing your podcast. But I just, for us, Restream just isn't working, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. If we didn't mind it looking like, a phone regular selfie thing, it'd be fine. But otherwise, we gotta
Yeah.
be trying to make it look good here, sideways.
Yeah, we have a whole studio here, and everybody on TikTok who also watches this, they can kind of see a little bit of it. We have a whole studio here, and it just doesn't work for us. That's okay though. That's all right. You know what? It will work for some people, just not for us. And
New
we'll,
year, new platform.
yep, new platform. So we'll try that next time, guys. Welcome in. Welcome in. We have some great topics
So
today.
happy New Year. Your holiday good?
My holiday was great. What about yours? Did you hit your head?
No, I didn't. I did plenty of stupid things, but I did not hit my head
Oh,
this
thank
holiday.
goodness.
So
Thank
we're good at
goodness.
that department. And we made it out in one piece, and we had the family over, and good holiday. And I'm glad to see you guys back with us today for another edition of Unanswered. And
Yes.
Thomasina has something really super interesting to talk about.
I do. So I had teetered on whether I should talk about it or not, but it is all the buzz. It went national. We had an agency here locally that had to take their client, they felt like they had to take their client to court in order to get commission from them. And that client went live on social media talking about it, and it has went national. So here in Virginia Beach, and it rocked the real estate world, not just here but everywhere.
So,
And
so the brokerage took the client to
yeah,
court, or did the salesperson, the agent?
well, so the brokerage is the one that needs to take the client
Right.
because they
Right.
they are the ones who the
Right.
client is actually in contract with.
Okay.
But yes, so we know bits and pieces of it. We've seen both sides of it. We don't really know the full story, right? Because we haven't interviewed either one of them.
Right.
I'm thinking that we
Might be,
might. I'm thinking we
might be
might.
worth a guess shot.
I'm thinking we might. Um, it would just be good to hear both sides of the story.
Yeah. I wonder if the client would come on.
I mean, she's already going live anyway, but I just think it would be good for us to show both sides of the story and for
Yeah.
everybody to make their own judgment after hearing both sides.
Absolutely. Must see
I don't
TV.
think the brokerage will come on, unfortunately, though, but it would be great. It would be great for them to clear the air for themselves because
Absolutely.
the client is going out, and the way that she is portraying this isn't good. She is stating that during a transaction, um, her and her spouse were separated.
Okay.
She was living somewhere, and the spouse was living in the house, and they were getting separated. They were amicable and talking, and they were under contract to have their home sold. Now, this is a story that she's telling, and unfortunately, the spouse passed away
Oh.
in a car accident. So, spouse passed away, and this is again her side of the story. The the house, she moved back into the house, didn't sell it, moved back in with her children,
Right.
and the brokerage decided to take her to court for the money. She says she paid some money before she went, but the brokerage went to court and won to have $7,000 paid out to her. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So a lot of people are up in arms about it. It's went everywhere. People are trying to bash the real estate world. But that's honestly, in all the years I've done real estate, this is the first I've heard of anything like this happening um, at all. And we did have another case locally that was going to go to court and didn't come to fruition because the brokerage was not about to take them to court. The agent wanted to, but the brokerage did
Well, I
not.
have a question. Maybe
Yeah.
some of you are thinking right now. If one of the parties to a transaction that maybe signed the buyer broker agreement passes away
Mhm.
suddenly, does the other one still have to perform if she's decided not to sell her house?
Yeah, so the way that depending on how, remember, everybody's buyer broker is a little different. I would like
Right,
to see theirs. I would like
right.
to see theirs for sure, but yes, in a small answer,
Mhm.
I would like to see what theirs looks like. But it it is something that a lot of people are stating, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Oh yeah. Well, absolutely.
And so that's
Yeah.
a big to do. Um I personally, this is just me speaking personally, I am not trying to take any client to court for any situation like this. That is
Right.
not, again, I don't really know the other side of this except for what has been put out on social media.
Yeah.
There could be a whole other story to this that we're not aware of, but um, it doesn't look very well. It doesn't end very well, honestly. I don't believe that any commission is worth your reputation. I just don't.
Yeah. And in terms of that with this brokerage, there would be some empathy going on.
Yeah.
Listen, you just lost your spouse. You decided to stay in the house.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, and children being involved, and
Yeah.
it's just, it's a lot. And so this lady is going to social media, and she like did a video on her like writing the check, putting it in the mailbox, naming the brokerage, and it did go viral, and again it went national. And so a lot of people who aren't in real estate are attacking real estate. A lot of people in real estate are attacking the brokerage. A lot of people on the outside are trying to make sense of it, but it is worth everyone taking a look at. I mean, I'm usually everybody's like, don't, but I'm like, no, I think they should, because we're going to talk about it. We're going to
Yeah.
talk about it. We're going to answer your questions on it. We want you to send them to us. We're going to do some more research. Reach out, see if we can get somebody on here to interview.
Well, if the facts are as we've just that we know have stated, what would you do?
Yeah.
Would you pursue the commission if she's changed her mind in that situation and go after that, or would you just let it go?
Yeah, and I
Up to
I
you.
think with what's out there right now, um, I'm not sure that there's, I mean, there's never 100% of anything, but there's a high 90 some percent that nobody would really pursue that.
Yeah.
And that's the gist. And but that's what the information that's out there, right? And honestly, I understand that they were separated, but that shouldn't really have a play in this. Somebody's life was lost.
Yeah, no.
Um,
I mean, life's plans change with things like that.
yeah, yeah,
Even when they're estranged, if you lose the father of your kids in that
yeah,
situation, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's all a personal call, I guess, but it's also you got to think about your reputation in the community, which is what you mentioned a little earlier.
right.
Does that affect what people are going to think about your brokerage going forward?
Yeah.
Because it's so public now.
And me, I'm not the person that could even sleep at night doing something to that extent, if the facts, again, I'm saying this over and over, if the facts are the way that they are being
Yeah,
presented.
right,
And
right.
usually they're not always that way, but it did break my heart. It was a sad situation. And so we're talking about it today for the purposes of the client. So, believe it or not, I feel like the real estate world has kind of dug into this, but I want to talk about it on the side of the client. So, make sure whatever you are signing, that you know what you're signing. Make sure that if there is a beginning and an end date, and you need, for some reason, something like this happens, and God forbid that it does. I hope it never happens to you, but something, happens to where your financial status changes or anything like that, ask them. So, if something were to happen, a life
Okay.
event or
Yeah,
anything, how do I break this? And what happens if I do break it? What are the consequences? What are we going to do? It's okay to ask to put something into a contract to be written in and everybody sign.
absolutely.
A lot of people really lay it out, and they want to make sure. Now, here's the kicker, though. Here's the kicker that I really want everyone to understand. You are speaking to an agent when you're doing that. That agent does not own the buyer broker or the agency agreement that you are signing. That is owned by the brokerage. Whatever that agent tells you, make sure it's backed up in writing and signed, not only by the agent, but by the broker of the company. And that's with any contract that you have. If you have something that you want to write in, or you have a way that you want something to be done, make sure the broker is signing it as well. Down the road, that's the person that you're going to have to go to get out of a contract, to have things changed. If that agent leaves that company, you're left with that broker. Just so you know, you don't just move with that agent. That stays with that company until that broker decides that they want to release it to another company, or in most cases, they just finish it out.
I think that's a very good point because a lot of people who sign these agreements with realtors or agents don't understand that there's another person above that realtor who's actually the person you're signing that agreement with. I
Yes.
mean, the realtor, the agent it's in front of you is certainly representing that brokerage, but that's what they are. We're a representative of the brokerage. The brokerage owns that buyer broker agreement in the end. So it's okay. And as a matter of fact, I think that if I was to ever sign a buyer broker agreement with an agent, I would make sure there was an act of God exit strategy for me or something along those lines. That's an excellent opportunity for you. And that is the opportunity for you to get all that straight before you sign it. And really, I don't know a company that wouldn't say, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, a good company that would understand your needs and want to accommodate you in the best forms would understand acts of God and different things that would happen, and would be empathetic, like you said. Sympathy and empathy are two different things. They kind of cross the lines with each other at some point, but they are two separate things. And so we're here to talk to agents and also clients and customers. So we're going to tell you both sides of the story, right? And as far as agents, I always speak to you guys on this. Um, just just to make sure that your transactions are not driven by your wallet. Don't let your transactions be driven by your wallet. That's not how to run a business. That's my 2 cents on it. That's how I believe. And I do believe that if it's driven by um, your heart, and that you are seeking good, that good will come to you.
Absolutely.
And just make sure that you are empathetic and sympathetic.
Servant heart it sounds cheesy, but having a servant's heart makes you a great agent
It
because
does.
that's your compass. And every decision you make, everything you say is based on serving that customer to the best of your ability. And that's really the bottom line. That's what they expect, and that's what you should deliver. So having that servant's heart is a wonderful thing and a great compass.
Yeah. And if you have something that you know that if you said this to a client, they just wouldn't go with you, check yourself. Like, really check yourself. And then make sure that there's clauses in there that if there is something that would be a law or a bylaw of your brokerage or your state or your city, that there is something in there that is explaining it to the fullest extent, and also a way for them to sever ties on both ends
Yeah.
for certain things. Now, a contract is a contract to keep everybody moving forward. I'm not saying that I want, an out for everything, right?
Right.
But but there's no point in going to court and spending your money and their money with attorneys. Now, I will say this lady represented herself.
Mm,
She said she did not have the money for an attorney, so she went in and represented herself. That's what she is stating. And you don't want to be in that situation either.
no. So you really have to cover your bases. And if you don't have an attorney or somebody that knows the law and knows contracts and all that stuff, there are no stupid questions. And if a realtor or an agent in front of you thinks there is, wrong agent.
Yeah,
Wrong a
absolutely.
next.
Yep. And the other case was, the client was with the agent and they were looking at property, and the client went off and found a for sale by owner home on their own, and they had this buyer broker agency signed that stated, whatever property I buy you or due a commission.
Right.
And so they went and found a for sale by owner home on their own, they stated, and they didn't pay the commission back to the agent who has spent all this time, money, and energy, months and maybe even longer,
Mm,
helping them, and they didn't pay him. And so that was the other case. It did not end up going to court, at least as of now, it has not. But I can kind of see both sides of that one. Like, you spent months and months and months
oh
doing
yeah.
work and helping somebody, and then they refuse to pay. And I can understand the client's point of view of, I found this house without an agent,
Yeah.
you know, but
All the gas and time that an agent spends. I don't know that clients really know
yeah,
the extent
that's
to
what I
which
was going
we
to say
go
too.
to
Mhm.
find these properties, go pre-screen them, maybe walk through them, and then to end up meeting you there and going through that. All the properties we send you via email and the care we take to make sure you get what you want.
Yeah, the
That's a, oh
negotiations and the
yeah,
understanding and the knowledge of the contracts and being able to make sure that that's done
right,
correctly for you.
right. I mean,
It's a lot. It
it
is
is
a
a lot.
lot.
And when the client ends up having, after signing the thing that plainly states, at least in our prior brokerage agreement, that no matter what you, if you have a transaction under the terms of this, the length of this contract we have, we're getting paid whether you use this or not. So
Yeah,
that's the that's the catch there. So I mean, if you're buying a house, just understand how much that realtor you're hiring is really doing for you.
yeah.
And don't sign it if you don't plan on following through with it,
Yeah,
no
or make
matter what.
changes to it because, like our state, you have to sign it by a broker in order to have any substantial conversation about real estate. And so, ask about changes that can be made, sign it for the day, sign it for that property,
Yeah,
whatever the case may be. There are some changes in there. A lot of people aren't going to like that I said that, but there are. I want an understanding on both sides. I love being transparent. I think it's great. When you are talking to your clients, make sure they understand this is what a for sale by owner is. This is what a new construction is. This is how it works. And then also that protects them. So, in this situation, the person found a for sale by owner and it went okay, I believe, from what they're saying. But a lot of times it doesn't. And then they don't have representation,
yeah,
even though they had representation. They didn't utilize it. It's like
yeah.
having an attorney in your back pocket, and then you're like,
I'll just go to court without them.
yeah, it's fine. I'm not going to use them today. But you definitely want to utilize what you have agreed to protect you. But you also want to make sure you're comfortable with it.
Absolutely. And again, just like anything else, buying a car, leasing a car, renting an apartment, whatever, before you sign it, make sure you understand everything that's in it.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
absolutely.
if you don't, that's when you could fall into issues,
Yeah,
problems. Yeah, but
sadly.
no one foresees their spouse, even if they're estranged, getting in a car wreck and passing away. That is sad, and nobody can see that in the future that I know of, at least.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, just to protect yourself the best you can, and if you have any questions and they're not willing to answer them or they don't know the answers, come back when you do. Meanwhile, I'm going to interview some other realtors.
Yeah, and you can always ask the broker too. So if you're talking to an agent and you want deeper questions, ask to speak to their broker. Say, "Hey, can we have a conference with your broker? I would like to ask a few more questions.
Yeah.
I watched Unanswered and I know that the broker has the final say." And so I want to talk to them and see what's going on. A lot of agents aren't going to like that either. But you know what? We're here to answer these questions that are never asked
Right.
or are unanswered or are just kind of scooted under the rug. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
That's what this podcast is about. And that's who we are. That's just who we are as people.
Yeah.
In anything that we do. Jimmy Ray sent me a thing this morning. It was just a question mark off of a training we had. And I was like, what's the question mark for? Because I want to know before I even answer. I'm not even going to try to think, what does he think? No, I'm just going to ask him, what is it that you need? Because
Yeah.
and he got right back to me. Oh, I was just seeing if you're going to be on here instead
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
on the podcast. And I
Yeah.
was like, no. But the biggest mistake I think people make is the assumption of what somebody wants, what somebody needs. And there's no need for it when you can just ask the questions. Just take a little bit of time, ask the questions. And it may take an extra 5 seconds, but at least you won't go back and forth or give the wrong answer and waste time going down this path. So be transparent, ask the right questions, and then you'll have the answers for your clients that you need. And clients, same way. Take your time, ask the right questions. You'll have the answers that you need from the brokerage that you're getting ready to do one of the biggest transactions of your life.
Yeah. And I don't want to come across as where I'm nowhere near a perfect agent. Okay. I'm a human being that cares about his clients. And that's how I present myself every single time. And she's the same way. And the protection that gives you is if you present yourself, listen, I'm a human that just wants to serve you the best I can. I don't know all the answers, but what I don't know, I have someone on the end of this phone that does know. And right out of the box, okay, they're not expecting you to be perfect, and they won't hold your feet to the fire if you're not, because I am not perfect. But I don't think people expect perfection. They expect you do a great job and know what you're doing. But the caring factor, I think, is the most important. If they know
Yeah.
that you care about them and their mission of selling or buying a home, that's where you hit the sweet spot.
Yeah, we were talking in this AI class last week, and I always say that AI will not replace you, but the people who use AI will replace the people who don't.
I love that.
And so
I don't love that. I
I
love the saying.
truly believe that. I do believe that. But AI, I don't believe it will ever replace because it cannot sit across the table from somebody and calm their nerves
Yeah.
when a transaction has went sideways, when something like this has happened. They cannot sit across and calm their nerves. They cannot sit across from somebody who's overwhelmed and has anxiety and they're trying to explain the contract or different contracts that have come in or things that have happened with their house.
Yeah.
AI is not going to be able to do that in a way that's comforting. They're able to do that up to a point of knowledge, right? That we're teaching them, by the way.
Right.
And
Right.
so they're our student. That's our student. And so what better to know about that than the teacher?
Have you seen the creepy AI robots?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Holy smokes! I mean, I had to take a double
Yes.
look to make sure it wasn't a real person.
It looks so
Oh my gosh!
real.
And you can go so many places
Ah,
with that
it looks
situation.
so many.
But yeah, so I mean, even that thing sitting across from you is not going to give you what a human being can do. So
No.
it'll never replace us. Her point is, I guess you just have to stay up on the latest technology to have that edge that you need to perform in today's market.
Yeah, absolutely. And if your brokerage does not have that training, let me tell you, find a brokerage that does. Not find a brokerage to go to, just find a brokerage that does. A good brokerage will invite other agents from outside its brokerage to come in and join classes and be able to teach you because other agencies and other brokerages should want to empower and improve the knowledge of the area that they're living
Oh
in.
yeah. I'll be honest with you. I mean, and again, I'm not God's gift to anything, but hopefully being a dad. But there have been transactions where I would look at the other agent. It must have been like they have three heads because they don't know something they should know. And even I had one transaction with a person that said they had been in the business for 23 years. And I had only been in it for four at the time, 4 or 5. And they thought there was something in a clause of the standard contract here that wasn't there. And I'm thinking, wow, this is disturbing because not that we're anybody's perfect, but you should know the contract and what's in it. And if you question it before you open your mouth, look at it to make sure what you're about to say is right.
Yeah.
I mean, I was floored with that.
Like, at least familiarize yourself with what you're presenting. I will say this, it's a trigger for me when somebody says, "I've been in the it's the tone that they use, right?
Yeah.
And I just wanna be like, "Who hurt you? Why do you need to say that? Are you okay? Who hurt you in real estate that you have to
Yeah.
tell me
Yeah.
that you've been doing this for so many years and that is your worth? Because that's not worth, right? What's worth is how many transactions you've done because transactions and the information and knowledge on transactions change not just yearly,
Yeah.
sometimes monthly.
Yeah.
So how many transactions have you done? We can talk about that if you
Yeah.
want to. I still would ask who hurt you that you have to use numbers because I just want to have a conversation. Let's
Yeah.
have a conversation and let's get through this transaction
You
together.
see why I love her and why I love working here, right? I mean, it's a no-brainer. But I think they tell you the years if they've got a couple decades in, so they can be superior in this
That's not okay
conversation.
though.
But it's not putting him in a superior position
No,
because it's making him look inferior
it
with the lack of
does.
knowledge about what's in
It
that clause of the
does.
contract. So
Yes.
yeah, so
It's who hurt you? If
who
you are
hurt
one of
you?
these agents, who hurt you? We need to have like a little,
Who
we need to
hurt
have
you?
like, I know, we need to have like the little ticker across and we have to have like the sad song like they do for the puppies.
I am
Please
gonna use
call.
I'm gonna use that the next time an agent throws you. It's gonna be good. What'd you
In
say,
the
Jimmy?
eyes
Who
of the
who hurt you?
angel.
Who hurt you? Just wanna know who hurt you.
Was it Sarah
I'm
McLachlan?
gonna
Yeah, we need the Sarah McLachlan song.
I am gonna use that.
The
Uh,
arms of an
I
angel.
know, right? Then you can freak out even more if I started singing that. Yeah.
Oh my
Well, anyway,
goodness.
I
But
won't
yes,
do
I
that.
mean, just maybe back off of that a little bit if that's your go-to because it doesn't bring anything but animosity and anxiety and anger to the
Yeah, and
conversation.
honestly, if you've been in the market doing this for 25 years in this market, any realtor that's also been doing it for any length of time knows who you are
Yeah,
and knows that you have the
if you've done
savvy and the
transactions.
success. Right. They see your success record. So, yeah, just not a good look.
It's not.
Just saying.
It's not.
So, anyway, that was very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting
Yes, I
about
want to
that
bring that and do both sides of it.
situation.
We're probably gonna have a lot of comments on that. And we'll address it the
Yeah,
next
yeah.
week.
Make sure you put your comments in the section. TikTokers, you too.
Yep,
Uh,
questions and comments. We'll be answering them next time.
Absolutely. Now, before we take off, something that kind of parallels with the whole being human and serving your client, have a servant's heart. For effective agents, people, I got asked in the email this week, what is it that makes you an effective agent? And
Mhm.
not me personally, but just in general,
It's
they
a good
wanted
question.
thoughts on that.
Yeah.
And my whole thing boils down to relationships. Now, that's a given. You have knowledge. You have all the knowledge you need about how to do it, when to do it, what to look out for, all that knowledge. But I think my thing is based on relationships, and it always has been in radio and in real estate, where people get a hold of me because they believe I am in their best interest. I have their heart in my heart to serve them and get them through whatever it is they're doing with real estate. But also, when I talk about relationships, I'm talking about with vendors because a successful realtor has a network of vendors that can do anything that this relationship and this transaction requires, within reason.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you have a contractor, a plumber, a carpenter, electricians at your call, and a good relationship with them is going to allow you to for them to go, you know what, I'll stick you in here, even though I'm busy that day, just to get it done on your schedule, on your client's schedule to keep the transaction moving. So
Yeah, they'll
relationships,
definitely work. They will work harder when you have a relationship. Not better. Everybody has a great, wonderful lover, right? But they're more apt to go out after hours, before
oh
hours to
yeah.
put you in, like you said, when you have this great relationship because it's a give and take. You've done the same thing for them.
Absolutely, and that includes with me maybe taking them to lunch on a day I don't need them. It's like, "Hey, Bob, I appreciate what you did last week. Can I take you to Mission Barbecue?"
Yeah.
And, I mean, that means the world to these people because nobody does it.
No.
And so that
It's
puts you
actually
here.
opposite, right? It's opposite.
Absolutely.
Vendors believe that they have to take brokers, brokerages, and agents out for lunches and
Right,
drinks and
right,
parties and all of
right.
that when it really should be a 50-50. It should be
Oh,
us taking
absolutely.
them as well because they're doing a lot for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So to have that great relationship with your vendors is going to put you in the best position to make your client happy. That's all I'm saying. So to me, relationships are key. First off, the knowledge, but the relationships with your client, with the other realtor or agent in the
Yes.
deal. I mean, having a great relationship there. Sometimes that's not within your the realm of possibility because they're just being a jackass. And everybody's dealt with one of those. A know-it-all. And so but besides that, just do your best to have a great relationship because when they want to help you with a situation, it's going to make it a lot easier. And again, we go back, who are we serving? We're
Yeah,
serving our client.
we are.
And whatever it takes to get that thing done for that person in the best way possible for them, that's what you want to do. And a great relationship helps no matter what to grease all the wheels.
And if you're in that situation and the relationship is going a little sideways, stay professional. You always have the option to stay professional.
Mm.
Even when the other person is going off the handle, stay professional. I have a new thing I'm doing. It's called being a gray rock. And I read this and it's basically anytime somebody is flying off the handle or you're in a situation of gaslighting or in a situation of somebody who is in control and a controlling situation or
Mhm.
yelling or anything like that, be a gray rock because the dollar and the most boring that you are, the person on the other side who is definitely not a gray rock is dynamite will not come over and try to blow you up because you're so boring and they just don't want to engage anymore. You're not feeding them back, right? You're not giving them the fire they need for the
Right. Right.
explosive,
That
right?
makes sense. Yeah.
And so you be a gray rock and you're just like, okay, sounds good. I'm going to go ahead and email that over to you. Like, and they're just going off, but they don't get fed. So if you could be a gray rock in that situation and remain professional, it's going to work out best for you and your client in the end
Oh, yeah.
for sure, even if that other person is going crazy.
Yeah, I think they come in hot like that a lot of times, thinking that's what they need to do to get it accomplished or
Yeah.
whatever. And that's not really the case all the time.
It's not. That's old school. That's something that was a very, very, very long time ago in all situations. Going to McDonald's and screaming and throwing the coffee or whatever back in the
Yeah.
person's face is
Mhm.
going to get you in jail.
Yeah.
Back then, it did, and it just, it made you look like a jerk, but you usually ended up getting something from it, which is sad. And that's how the world had progressed and that.
Yeah.
But it's going to put you in jail now.
When
And
somebody
so
comes in
things,
hot like that, I turn the other direction. I mean, I
yeah,
now I don't want to help
no,
if I could, which I hate to be in that situation, but if you're going to disrespect me and my client with whatever it is you're saying or accusing of us, whatever the deal is, that's going to make me want to have a nice day.
yeah. And our client are seeing that and they're like, I don't know if I want to go through this transaction
Yeah.
with that the whole time because the transaction at minimum is 30 days. So
Yeah.
Our clients don't want to deal with that. So just be careful of how you're portraying yourself in email, text, and verbal form whenever you're speaking to the other side, because you should stay and remain professional at all times, but also try to build that relationship. You're probably going to have another transaction with them in the future.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So listen, that's all the time we have. We'd love for you to comment. Please ask questions of things or make suggestions of things you'd like us to cover in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we are going to end there. And if you have any other questions that you think of later on, you can still comment on this. This runs a couple times, so you can even comment later on with it, and we will answer them next time. So we will see you next time on
Unanswered.
Unanswered.